They talked about that year in the ABC article. They talked about that year. The race really heated up between Emma Stone and Isabelle Huppert, which after watching The Piano Teacher, Isabelle Huppert down to my toes. She's such a good actress. Looking back, I'm like, how did Emma win that? But, I mean, campaigning, baby. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Wait, who else was nominated that year?
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me click on the article again, friend. It's the ABC article. It's the first one.
So for Best Actress, the other options were Isabelle Huppert for Elle, never seen it, Ruth Negga and Loving, Natalie Portman and Jackie, and then Meryl Streep and Florence Foster Jenkins. I think that was Emma Stone's year to win.
Yeah, it might have been.
Also, doesn't help that Elle is a thriller movie. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
If Rosamund Pike cannot beat Julianne Moore in that Alzheimer's movie, and Gone Girl,
it's over for you.
It's over. Yeah. I mean, also, I don't like Casey Affleck.
Oh, yeah. They talk about... That year was really weird. What is it, Casey? They gave Denzel Washington's Oscar to Casey Affleck for some reason. Oh, what else happened? Oh, yeah. So personality narrative. They also talk about, and one of them was whisper campaigns, because you already know narrative is David and Goliath. Oh, this person has never, which results in things like, oh, this person's never won an Oscar and they've been nominated so many times, which results in like pity Oscars, which is like people who don't really, like the Oscar should really go to somebody who actually gave the best performance, but it's like, this person's kind of old, or like, we don't really think they're going to get nominated again, so here you go. And they're like, oh, they rationalize it, but like the other person will have many more chances to get an Oscar, and then the cycle viciously continues. Or we have, what's another narrative? They talk about whisper campaigns, and I think the Vox article or the NPR transcript, where whisper campaigns are just spreading rumors about other actors. Like, apparently that...
What?
Yes, rumors about other actors, or digging up dirt that, like, people didn't care about before, but would, like, derail a campaign. Mm-hmm. Like, I think in that article, they talk about... and this might not be known to the actor themselves, who it is on the behalf for, so I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Yeah. But they talked about how that year, where it was really heating up between Denzel and Casey Affleck, that somebody was, like, going around bringing up Casey's sexual assault allegations to, like, derail the campaign. Now, I don't think Denzel would have done that. Like, I don't think Denzel did that. Somebody probably...
But he's leaving here with something.
He's leaving here with something! Like, come on now.
Has Denzel never won an Oscar?
He has.
Okay, good.
He has.
He has two.
Yeah. Period. Period.
Yeah. Deserves it. Deserves more, frankly. He's Denzel Washington.
He's Denzel freaking Washington. But, like, once again, narrative matters. And even though it didn't derail Casey Affleck, it's still, like, they will use anything to get a win.
Yeah.
So personality, narrative, and then just plain money. Mm-hmm. In the Vox article I was reading, they gave the example of Boots Riley. A lot of people apparently, when Sorry to Bother You came out, were like, why didn't Sorry to Bother You get anything? Because...
I'm sorry, have you seen the movie?
Yes.
They would not nominate.
I know,
Sorry to Bother You.
Like, I don't know why people thought that, but like some people were mad about it.
The CGI horse cons weren't loved by the Academy.
But a lot of people thought it'd at least get like some tech awards.
No, it also like it looked like its budget. Here's the thing: I'm still trying to Godzilla -1 about best VFX, considering like even though they did a lot with a very small budget. Narrative, it worked for it. But in terms of the other nominees, I would have loved to see the creator walk out with it. Because those are great visual effects. It was great visual effects. And it's the same story, it's just not as pretty. Because 80 million is a bigger number than 15.
Yeah.
But it was given CW. You know? Mm-hmm. It was given...
because...
It was CW.
What were we just talking about? I just lost my train of thought.
We were talking about Denzel.
Sorry to Bother You.
The
example was Sorry to Bother You because Boots Riley went on Twitter and talked about a lot of people were complaining, why didn't this movie get any Oscar noms? And he was just point blank like, well, one, we really didn't think we were going to get nominated for anything. Let's be real. He was literally like, let's be serious, mamas. Like, I didn't think we were going to get any nominations in the first place. And then two, since we already don't think we're going to get anything, there's no point in pouring the money into doing a specific campaign and then spending all that time putting up billboards, buying billboards, putting them up, going to a bunch of luncheons, flying us out to a bunch of daytime talk shows.
Also,
and all that stuff. We just have our red carpet, the interviews we do on the red carpet, maybe some small interviews here and there at some festivals.
Yeah.
And that's it, mama. Like, we don't have the money like that, and we didn't think we were going to get nominated. So, what was the point? Like,
also, imagine, like, Lakeith Stanfield Oscar campaign. Does not make sense to me.
He doesn't have a personality for that.
Very low energy in terms of, like, even in his, like, actual film roles.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see Haunted Mansion?
No.
Did you see him in it? He does the same thing he always does.
I feel so bad. Tessa Thompson would have been left out there to die.
Okay, I will avenge you, Tessa Thompson, Ruth Negga, for passing, because you were snubbed.
See, once again,
deeply.
No narrative, and then also, if a studio has multiple films gunning for Oscars, they will just put all their weight behind one.
Yeah, that's why I got Naiaded.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, which is why what was that film with Alfonso Cuarón? It wasn't
Roma?
Coda. Roma had once again talking about moving back to narrative. Now we're just gonna go through bunches of examples. You know, Roma was the one. It had a really good narrative. It had a huge campaign by Netflix and had a lot of personality. Cuarón has been recognized by the Oscars before. Mm-hmm. The narrative was that, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna hire just actors. I'm just gonna hire real people who, like, work these jobs and stuff, and I'm going to put them in the movie. And then, hey, like, you remember that story about Yalitza Aparicio?
Yeah.
And, like, oh, I needed her to cast her friend character, and she had a really good friend. I just casted the friend as well. So narratives all over the place. Like, oh, I've had a child, like Sam Mendes for 1917. Oh, yeah, my granddad fought during the Great War, and I made this as, like, a tribute to him. Narratives all over the place. Like, this movie has a personal meaning to me. This is something I've been wanting to make for a long time. Oh, I finally got out of director's jail. Narrative. I don't doubt that, like, when RDJ, I did watch his speech when he came up and accepted his award, when he talked about, yeah, I remember I used to be in prison, and I used to, like, I think he talked a little bit about going to prison and his, drug abuse, and thinking, like, I'm so happy I got a second chance and stuff. And, like, narrative matters. I'm sure when people were thinking about voting for him for his Oscar, they were like, oh my god, I can't believe that guy who had to be bailed out of jail is up here.
Anyways, I'm on the Roma Wikipedia page right now. The eligibility of the film for Academy Awards was a matter of controversy for many in the U.S. film industry. Since despite the film's limited theatrical release, many believed it was made for home viewing. Mm-hmm. And March 2019, Steven Spielberg, this is also before nominations closed, or, like, voting was on, Steven Spielberg expressed disapproval of streaming films being eligible for Academy Awards, and the timing of his comments led commentators believe he was adding Roma, essentially. Steven Spielberg?
Shade?
Racist?
No, but, oh yeah, I forgot that this was a huge, like, reason why Netflix does the, like, okay, 2 weeks in theaters, whoop, back to Netflix. And then not even wide, just limited theaters.
Yeah.
And so, what was the other example I wanted to bring up? Also, another example about narrative, money, and personality. Or, well, not really personality. Do you remember the whole thing with Andrea Riseborough and to Leslie from last year?
I've moved on.
Girl!
I've moved on. But also, when Felicity Huffman tried to... No, it was the other one. Who was the main girl that was, like, starting the campaigns that wasn't Andrea Riseborough? Who was the friend? You know what I'm talking about, the white woman?
Yeah, I want to say Jennifer Aniston, but I'm wrong.
No, it's someone we don't ever watch in movies anymore. Oh my god, Andrea Riseborough, friend. Also, like, and I think it was even Oscars friend. Jennifer Aniston supported her, but she wasn't the main woman. Like, it was like a specific person that was like breaking rules to support her. I'm so sorry. We'll have to cut this out maybe slightly.
No, it's okay. I'll talk over it while you're looking it up.
Thank you.
Because I wanted to speak on the To Leslie thing, because I'd almost forgotten about it until I was doing research for this episode. And I was like, that was literally wild. Because this is a thing. Also, the reason I think a lot of us, we as the plebs that we are, figured out about this is because a lot of this stuff, the kind of campaigning that they did in the open was normally done in the shadows, like inviting Academy voters to a home to watch for personal screenings, going to dinners and luncheons, and basically texting, emailing friends and other people in the industry saying, like, for email chains, like, hey, look out, also narrative is here. Andrea Riseborough, she's an underdog in a small film. Guys, there's like really no chance that she's really gonna get it. Maybe we should all push behind her and vote for her, and let's get the word out. And the main reason we even know about this is because someone went on their Instagram to really like, what is it, blow the lid off this thing.
Yeah.
Is that like a bunch of them were posting about going to these little watch parties and stuff on Instagram.
Yeah. So the woman's name was Miri McCormick, and she was married to the director of To Leslie, and so they really wanted to have a nomination for the movie because they never like properly distributed it. Mm-hmm. Like they had no money, so they only wanted her to get nominated so people would actually see the movie on like iTunes. And so they hosted homes. Gwyneth Paltrow hosted a screening. Mm-hmm. Kate Winslet did a virtual Q&A. So they had all their famous friends like come out the woodworks to like voluntarily campaign for her. Mm-hmm. But it was giving cheating. And then like what was the name? Daniel Deadweiler from Till basically got shut out as a result.
Yes. And so it says in the article is that basically a lot of these rules were created because of what Amanda is citing, which is that Harvey Weinstein was effectively bribing Academy members by creating opportunities for them to have great experiences so that they would then like him and vote for his films. This is what To Leslie was doing. Hey, if you do, hey, because like it is essentially bribing, even though it's not guaranteed that you were gonna vote for Andrea Riseborough. Hell yeah, I want to meet Gwyneth Paltrow. Hell yeah, I want to meet Kate Winslet. Hell yeah, I want to meet Jennifer Aniston. And then because you feel bad, you're like, well, they did all this nice stuff for me. I guess one little vote couldn't hurt. But that's at least like 30% of the freaking supporting actress or best actress voting body that's doing a pity vote. So it really tips the scales.
And we're not voting for the best film or the best performance or the best example of filmmaking done.
Yeah, and so that's what happens, and that's just what I wanted to talk about because I feel like every year, well, not every year, some people like campaigning, but they don't get very specific into how deep it goes. You have to campaign is what I'm also essentially trying to say. You have to campaign. You can't, they did talk about example like Monique for Precious. She didn't campaign and she did win Best Supporting Actress, but that was over a decade ago. Mm-hmm. Today, you have to campaign if you want your award.
Yeah.
And so it's just a lot of hard work on the back end, which is unfortunate because you think, like, we're here to award, like, somebody's walking their dog, sorry. You think we're here to award things on merit and, like, what people actually deserve, but that's not what's happening. And so that's what I wanted to say. So the 3 pillars were, what did I say? Personality, narrative, and money. Mm-hmm. And also, like, little thing, why do Oscars matter? Money. Again. Yeah. Because a lot of films are shown to get little bumps after they've been nominated for an Oscar. Like, I don't think anybody, well, not anybody, but I mean, I don't think a lot of people would have went to check out Poor Things if it hadn't been nominated, or as many people would have went to go back and check out Poor Things if it hadn't been nominated for an Oscar or all those Oscars. Mm-hmm. And it's shown that a lot of films get little bumps after they're nominated for an Oscar, and then also a big bump, especially after a win.
Yeah.
Which is why, like you said, it mattered for To Leslie, because it's like, well, hell yeah, I want that Apple or iTunes like streaming $3.99 rent or $14.99 to buy money. Like, that's money going back to me. So gross. Rentals, DVD buys, literally anything that can go back to the movie. It's important. Like, that's why the Oscars matter. I mean, it does bring a lot of prestige, but at the end of the day, we're getting like an extra maybe 10 to 15 to 20 million dollars because a bunch of people are like, oh, they associate the Oscars with quality, and then they're like, well, this is quality, so I wouldn't be wasting my time if I'm watching this, which isn't guaranteed all the time. Also, the Oscars are unserious. Can you believe Al Pacino won for Scent of a Woman? What is this world?
I've not seen that movie.
He didn't win for Scarface or The Godfather. No, because I was thinking about all the time. Like, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the fact that Michael Keaton doesn't have an Oscar doesn't make any sense. Like, I've gone back to his Wikipedia page multiple times per week in these past couple of days just to look at it and that doesn't make sense.
He didn't win for Birdman.
They